Hi everyone, thank you for coming all the way to Tokyo. Today I'd like to talk about the quintessence of sushi. It's because, the why sushi, it's because of SusHi Tech Tokyo. So maybe some of them know the sushi, what sushi is, but somebody don't know what the sushi is. So I'd like to talk about sushi first. It's because I have a good reason to tell what the sushi is, because I'm running the sushi restaurant in Kanazawa, Japan, and actually so we are together with the local community. So and I'm a big fan of the sushi, so that's why I searched and studied, and then asking a question to the sushi, and then so I like to share the latest thoughts about sushi first. So sushi. This is the intersection of the art and science. So sushi is very simple foods, but actually behind the scene, it's a really great art and science is there. So as you might know, today's modern sushi was invented by the Yohei Hanaya, which is more than 100 years ago. And then actually he's regarded as the inventor of the modern sushi. And then until the 20th century, he was running the restaurant in Tokyo, but unfortunately they stopped. But their technique and traditions succeeded by so many sushi chefs, not only in Japan, but also in everywhere in the world. So I'd like to show you this picture. This drawing is drawn by the Hiroshige Ando, which is one of the famous ukiyo-e artists. And this is one of the oldest sushi picture in Japan. So as you can see, even the beginning of the modern sushi, already the form factors are already established very well. So so that's why, in the sense that the sushi is very historical dish even for the Japanese. So sushi is comprised of the two parts. So I dare to say that the art of the minimalism. So sushi is comprised of neta, which is a fish, basically, and also the shari, which is the rice. And so I like to start from the foundation of sushi called shari. Shari is, it's not just a rice ball, it's not just a onigiri. It's very, very well designed, prepared, mixing up the salt and sugar and vinegar. And especially vinegar is very important. So if you go to the sushi restaurant, maybe you can see the white shari, but sometimes you can see the brown shari or yellow shari. It's because it's from the color of the original vinegar. It's called the akazu is the red vinegar, kurozu is the black vinegar, and komezu is the yellow one. Of course, actually, so there are so many nice vinegar breweries in Japan, and then sometimes the chef will use the original one, or sometimes they mix and create the original shari. So if you go to the sushi restaurant, you have to not only the neta, fish meat, but also you have to carefully taste the shari rice. It's because the shari is the signature of the sushi restaurant. So the tasting shari means that the tasting their original effort, passion of the making sushi by the sushi chef. Okay, and then the neta is also the greatest part of the sushi. And the king of the sushi fish neta is maguro with red tuna. And then, so depends on that depends on the fatty or not fatty, otoro, chutoro, akami. But maybe some people think that the otoro is the best, but no way. Because the otoro is a very small portion, so that's why it's expensive. But expensive doesn't mean that the best, right? So you have to taste the difference between the chutoro, otoro, and akami, right? But on top of it, the taste is determined by the cutting. Cutting is the most important, right? So as you can see that the chef is cutting very, naturally, but behind the scene, that it's a very, very careful technique was there. So, and also if we mimic the cutting like a sushi chef, but usually we can't make a sushi like a professional sushi chef, because the knives the chef were using is totally different from our regular knives. It's because of, this is one of the example that one of the best knife maker in Japan, it's from Kyoto, and actually they established a company in 1516, which means the 16th century, right? The one of the oldest company in Japan, and which means one of the oldest in Japan, in the world. And actually they are developing that knife, making their knives, using the traditional samurai swords technology. So actually it's literally totally the same as a samurai sword. So that's why, which is totally different from our regular knives. And then just draw in, so they call it draw the knife, not the cut. Draw the knife and then just once and they create a very nice cutting. So, and then so they will, show off, demonstrate the technique of the cutting. It's called the kazari bocho. So for example, this is the same fish, the kohada. It's a bluefish, small bluefish. But as you can see, there are so many bursts kind of the cutting technique. And then so some chef use a very traditional one, and some other chef will use their original cutting technique. And then if you go there, you can enjoy the difference. Even though the same fish, same sherry, but the taste and texture and the impression is totally different. So like that way, the cutting is very important, and which is not, which is very difficult for the regular people like us to be trained. So that's why they are spending so much time, let's say 10 years or tens of years, to brush their skills up to make a great sushi. Right? And then after that, combining together and make a sushi like this. So I like you, so if you really love the sushi, maybe I'm sure that most of all of you guys are like sushi. So I really strongly recommend you to go back to your home kitchen and try to create the sushi by yourself. And then you will come to know that how difficult it is, right? And actually I did. And this left one is my first batches of the sushi, which looks terrible, right? But after more than 300 times making sushi, and then eventually in the middle, that's my best one. So that looks much better, right? But my dream is like the right one, which is cooked by the professional sushi chef. So even though using the same rice and same fish, but like this way, they're totally different. Taste is more different than the looks, right? So again, why I'm talking about this kind of things, so how to make a sushi or how beautiful sushi is in this stage, is because I like to pose one question to all of you now. Can AI make sushi? Right? So some people say yes or no. So the reason why I'm posing this question is, so now is the greatest, one of the greatest moment in the century that we are facing at the amazing development of the progress of the development of the AI, right? So last week, 2 weeks ago, I was in the Bay Area, and then I met the 20 the most cutting-edge AI startup there, and I was blown away. And also the day before yesterday, the OpenAI announced GPT-4o, right? And maybe some people you saw it, you were blown away. So do you remember they released the ChatGPT just last year? So only just 1 year has passed since the original ChatGPT to the ChatGPT-4o. Right? So only 1 year, so such kind of progress was made. So like that way, the development of AI is accelerating. So I like to share the very brief, the architecture of the AI. So the OpenAI or Google Gemini or Meta's Llama 3, Anthropic, the Claude 3, and so those kind of companies are developing very hard to create the LLMs, right? But so those are called general LLMs. So that is not good enough to make sushi, for example. So the frontier of the innovation in the AI area is done by in this field called the domain-specific LLM or RAG. So domain-specific means that specialized to the vertical industry or the category. So, for example, the company called Tempus, which develops the medical AI for doctors, or Perplexity, which is they are specialized in the AI-based search engine, or U.com as well. So those kind of companies are called domain-specific LLMs. So general LLM, of course, thanks to their great effort, so general LLM as it is will be developed much better than before. But eventually, for example, in order to make a sushi, that's not good enough because it's a general, right? So we need a domain-specific LLM. So there are so many verticals and categories in the world, and so in that sense, there could be existing so many great AI startups in this field. So actually, as a professional investor, I'm focusing on that area. It's because the general LLM is already done by those guys, and no space for the investors to join already. So, but this part is one of the hottest area to explore. So if you guys are the potential founders, you have to involve the AI researchers to start focusing on some specific vertical area to create the AI. Or if you guys are investors, you should find and support those kind of companies who will make a very unique, special domain-specific LLMs. And then, the reason why I'm talking about sushi is because, sushi, the shari itself is just rice, right? So it's not sushi. So the final definition of the sushi is made by those kind of neta, various kind of neta, right? So we enjoy the various kind of neta, and then as a course, and then a sequence, and then we will be very satisfied. Wow, we had a very good sushi dinner, omakase dinner, right? So, but those kind of neta is, it's a local ingredients, right? And cooked by the local knowledge, which is a specialized sushi chefs techniques, or thanks to tradition. Tradition means that the great accumulation of the previous sushi chefs in the history. So local ingredients with local knowledge, so we can have a very nice, sushi. Enjoy the sushi, right? So on top of the two layers, the applications, which is the AI application, means eventually called the AI agents. So AI agents are the applications we, as a user, will be confronted, facing at. So like a topping of the sushi, and then we can as a combine of the three layers, we can enjoy the sushi. So like that way, that with those three layers, we can utilize the power of the AI. So since still this year is still the beginning era or phase of the AI development. So the red area, domain-specific LLM, is the hottest, but eventually the yellow part will be made by the many startups, and then we can enjoy the fruits of the AI's development. So, this is a very important point. Local knowledge matters. So, where's the local sushi knowledge most concentrated? Obviously, Tokyo, not the Silicon Valley, right? So, the SusHi Tech Tokyo is really, meaningful. Usually, traditionally, the epicenter of innovation was the Silicon Valley, because all the innovators who has a crazy idea will got together in the Silicon Valley Bay Area. It's because they have to get together, because to exchange the ideas or informations, or that kept supported by the investors and also the media or accelerators. But so we need to get together in one place to create a new chemistry of the innovations, right? But from now on, thanks to the AI and local knowledge clusters as a whole are the epicenter, which means that there's no single place, single venue who will make the innovations of the world. So, so before the AI age, I was frequently visiting to the Silicon Valley, but from now on, especially the general LLM part will be made by the Silicon Valley guys. But the domain-specific LLMs or AI agents, since they need the local knowledge, local data, so that's why all kinds of the new innovations done by the power of the AI will be made in many places in the world. So I believe that Tokyo will be one of the great epicenters of the world. So, but not only Tokyo, because for the sushi, Tokyo is a very nice place. Obviously, the epicenter of the sushi's innovation, but using AI. But other parts, so there are so many great local knowledges or know-hows or data in the Asian countries. So of course, eventually we will spread out to the globally. But as a first step, we started connecting the like-minded investors, like-minded supporters in Asian countries to create some kind of the virtual platform to make the good matching between the founders and investors and supporters. Supporters means not only just accelerator or incubator, but also the big companies, corporations who will adapt the latest technology to their businesses. Because adapting those technologies, newest technologies to their businesses, so that is most helpful for the startups to train the AI much better, or the grow as a business. So that's why not only investor but also those kind of supporters we are involving. And eventually we will actually, so this is still confidential, but since that SusHi Tech Tokyo is today, so I'm breaking the code to NDA process, but a little. But anyway, I'd like to share my latest activity that we tentatively named the Alpha League. So to create a connection between those great like-minded people to support the innovations, who will have a capital or who will have a data, who will have an opportunity to implement to the society, and using so we are developing the domain-specific LLM for this to connect, to match the founders and the supporters, and so that the great founders can accelerate their innovations, and also not only. So one of the issues of the Japanese startup, for example, is since the domestic market is not so small, so they tend to focus in on the domestic market first, and after focusing on domestic market, they tend to think that expand to the globally. But since Japan as a market is quite unique, so if they optimize too much, then they can't go expand globally. So I like to encourage the young founders, hey, start from the beginning. Why don't you design your company or business domain or your product and services, not only focusing on the domestic market in each Asian countries, but also to internationally. So in order to encourage them, we will create the platform to support them. So if you look at the baseball or soccer, all the young kids will dreaming of becoming the Messi or Shohei Ohtani or the Ronaldo or something like that. It's because that they're a very obvious, clear goal. So I like to go to play the soccer in the Premier League, or I like to play the baseball in the Major League in the USA. So that's why many people will jump into to start playing the baseball or soccer. But for the startup world, there's no clear goal. So I like to be like Elon Musk, I like to be like a Steve Jobs, but how can I be like that, right? So we like to create very clear the target. Hey, if we could create a nice product or services so we can appeal to the Alpha League, and then if the Alpha League members will decide to support our company, and then we can enter into the global market. Then maybe more people will jump into the startup ecosystem. So that's why I like to create that kind of things like soccer or baseball. And also, this is just a kind of advertisement, but last year I published a book in Japan, and 100,000 copies sold already. But the English version will be available this summer. And I wrote how should we live in the age of the AI? And then I think that the logical thinking become less important to humans. It's because those kind of things will be done by the AI, right? So in a sense, the leaps in logic, which means that I'm calling out of the box thinking, is very important for the humans. So which means that not providing the solutions, coming up with solutions, but asking a good question matters. So that's very important, because as you can experience, that if you put a nice prompt, you can get a nice answer from the AI, right? So asking a very good question, which is very, very, very not so easy, which is asking a good question matters. And then eventually we can come up with the very nice new ideas, or that we can find another like-minded people. Eventually we can have a great initiative to change the world better. So usually if we start thinking of something new idea, and then we tend to search at Google, right, to collect the information. But from now on, in the age of the AI, asking a good question is the most important thing. So that's the one of the key messages of written in my book. But the SusHi Tech Tokyo. So currently, as far as I can see, this is a very usual traditional exhibition of the companies and meetups or something like that. But so from now on, I don't think this is very helpful for the startups and investors, members of the ecosystem. But the SusHi Tech Tokyo should be the place for exchange the good questions. So that is the message I like to propose to the SusHi Tech. So especially the vice mayor of the Tokyo is there. So I like to propose this kind of thing. So in such a place, generative dialogue between the people who has a good question is very important. And also utilizing a generative AI. So generative dialogue with generative AI, so that is really powerful, right? So in order to exchange the good questions we have to meet up face to face. So that's why this kind of event is very important. But we should involve we should adapt the generative AI when we meet. So, for example, maybe in the future, some startup will develop this some kind of device that put the mic like this, and then we talk with somebody and talking about something generatively, and then. For example, if we could have some kind of the small questions, and then the generative AI will support us to providing the latest information or something like that. Oh, I see. And then, so together with AI, we will discuss, make a good discourse. So that kind of thing will be the future of the meetup. So, and then if we could make it happen, that kind of things, make that kind of things happen, and then I'm sure that we can enhance the innovation. We can accelerate the innovation more than before. And also, lastly, I like to recommend another proposal. In order to create a good generative dialogue, we should involve the children or youth, right? Because they don't have to unlearn. They are not sticking inside the box. Right? They don't have a common sense in a good way, right? So in order to have a good generative dialogue, we should involve the youth and children. So I personally started as one of the co-founders for the nonprofit called Vivita. So I'd like to introduce this one small short video, what we are doing.
We're always told what we can't do, that we're too small, we're too young, we're just kids. But Vivita is different. Here, being kids is what makes us great. It's a connected community that's free to let us think, explore, and create whatever we dream. We can sew our own clothes. We can design our own drones. Create our own robots. Build our own roller coaster. We can make music. We can dance. Make our own masterpiece. And we can make friends from everywhere in the world. This isn't a school. No teachers, no curriculum, just a whole bunch of ideas. Kids' ideas. To help make the world that much better, that much brighter. We're the world's thinkers, inventors, creators, and leaders. We're building the future, right now, at Vivita.
So I started 8 years ago around Tokyo, and then my first original idea was, so what if we adapt the startup accelerators, approaches and methodology to the kids? So that's it. So we started creating a free space for children for free, completely for free, to create any kind of things by themselves. And then it worked very well. It's like the show, video. And then currently, more than 10,000 children and youth is making something every day. And then we had a demo day, and then they brought an amazing new startup idea by themselves. And I'm sure that they can start a real startup by themselves because thanks to the AI. You know, even though they don't have so much experiences, but if they utilize the power of the AI, they can make amazing things by themselves. So that's why I started this kind of accelerator, regardless of the age, regardless of gender, regardless of the culture. So as a nonprofit, it's kind of a movement to involve the children to shaping the future. So anyway, the time is up. Since you came all the way to the Tokyo, so enjoy sushi. Go to the sushi restaurant and having sushi. So that's my last message. And one more thing, since I love sushi, I decided to open the sushi restaurant in Seoul in September. So if you come to Seoul after the September, and please contact me, and I will invite you to my dinner in my sushi restaurant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Mr. Son, please. Thank you.